Welcome to episode 30, where we're going to do some long distance economy tests on a road trip from Kalgoorlie to Perth. Let's get into it. Okay, so almost ready to go here. You can see the gasometer showing 34 Ks, and that's just because I've been towing the last couple of days, otherwise 551 Ks. And first stop is not far. We're going to go to the Dedari Pumphouse and check that out on our trip to Perth. So Dedari is a former pump house, number 8, which is part of the Goldfields Pipeline project. Anyway, let's go and have a look. It's about 80 kilometres from Kalgoorlie. So I've just arrived at the Dedari pump house. I'm going to go out and have a look. But there's the figures so far. So that's about 80 kilometres or so. And I'm just, like I said, I'm putting into save mode. So I've still got, maybe 2/3 of the battery there. Alright, let's go and have a look at this place. And it's closed. And I think that's because a lot of these old places, as you can see, have asbestos in them. And they're doing some clearing out at some of them. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's going to happen here as well. And maybe they'll be open to the public again one day. But you can still see it anyway, which is nice. And then over here, I think, is some of the water storage. So I might go and have a look up there as well. I wonder if this is just an overflow, or they're just not using it, if it's being maintained. Don't know enough about it. I'll have to do some research. We're ready to go. I'm about an hour and a half from Southern Cross. A nice little stop here. These pump stations are always very interesting. And yeah, let's go on to Southern Cross. Okay, so it's about 140 kilometres to Southern Cross. Now, it's not marked on the map here, but that's roughly where we are, where that arrow is. So let's get going. Okay, so we're just about to cross into the wheat belt. Although we won't see any fields for quite a while. But yeah, now we're into the show of Yilgarn, and we've left the Goldfields on this trip. First of the fields in Southern Cross that you can see close to the road. Not sure if that's wheat that's been harvested, but yeah, you'll start to see a few more fields now if you're not familiar with this area. Okay, so I've filled up in Southern Cross, over $2.05 a litre. Woohoo! Not. Okay, 17.73 litres. It's a beautiful day out there now. I'm heading to Mukindudin now, so I'm heading north towards Bullfinch. I'm about 30 Ks north of Southern Cross, and it's just beautiful, 21 degrees outside. And you can see since I've left Kalgoorlie, I've done about 257 kilometres. Economy is sitting on 7.4, which is not too bad, and I'm still saving the battery and just using it at low speed, so that's probably helping the economy. So here we are on the road to Chittacopping Reserve, which is off the highway a bit, but it shouldn't be too far. The road looks pretty good. So I've stopped here. This is Chittacopping Nature Reserve. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hope so anyway. And I've just found this little breakaway area, which looks pretty interesting. It reminds me of Buckley's Breakaway, if you know where that is. It's sort of near Hyden, but you can see it's got some nice white chalky cliffs. So I'll just go and have a walk up there and see what it's like. They're quite a stark contrast in colour, this white there. So I've only ever seen that in Western Australia at Buckley's Breakaway. There probably is some other areas, but it's quite interesting. It's only a very small one compared to the other one I saw, but it's still interesting to see. And it's nice exercise. Good to get out of the car and stretch my legs. This is Morrison Road. It's an excellent road, and I'm going to link back up with the road to Mukindudin, but this one is excellent. You can easily sit on 100 on it. Okay, so we're here in Mukinbudin at the unit. 378.2 kilometres I've driven today, and we got a pretty respectable fuel economy today, I have to say. 7.3 litres, which is not bad. That was a mixture of highway speeds and a few back roads, and yeah, it was quite a nice trip, as you saw. I'm just re-recording the audio for this bit, which was terrible for some reason. So I'm plugged into the granny charger here at Mukindudin, and it's 6.5 hours to get to a full tank of electrons again. I did want to use the 7 kilowatt AC chargers at the fast chargers in Southern Cross, but they didn't work. Okay, it's day 2, and our first little trip is to Billyacatting Hill and Nature Reserve there, and it's roughly half an hour or so to get there. We're all set to go, fully charged, and we're going to a place today called Billyacatting Hill, and it's quite a cool morning, a little bit windy out there. I don't know if you can see the trees blowing there, so we'll see how that affects my economy. I might just save the battery when I'm doing high speeds. Okay, let's get going. Okay, that was a great hike there. Can recommend that place too. Okay, now we're going down to the little town of Merredin, 66 kilometres, where I might do some charging. Okay, so we're at Merredin. We've done 109 k's today, 109.7, and check out that fuel economy, 5.9. So I've timed the battery so it's just on empty as I've got to Merredin, and I'm going to try out these 7 kilowatt slow chargers here. I'll show you that in a minute. So these are the slow ones, so they're 7 kilowatts, you won't quite get that, but they'll charge at wall charger speeds, so there might be an option. A little bit of a readout of what's going on here. I used these last week, or a couple of weeks ago, when I drove my wife's full EV. So they're the two CCS fast chargers, and you've got the slow one there, and it's just a matter of putting it into the amp to unlock it, and away you go. So yeah, interesting to see, and I'm gonna spend a bit of time here in Merredin and maybe put a third of the battery in. Alright, so you can see I put in maybe just over a third. It cost me $1 to do that, so not quite free. But anyway, onwards with our trip, and we're going down to Narambeen now. So I've only been to Narambeen a couple of times, just a little place, saying 47 minutes to get there. And it's a little bit further than I thought. It's actually 70 kilometres, but let's get going. Okay, we're just on the Merredin-Narambeen road, going down to Narambeen. And I've never been on this road the whole way before. I think I've only done a part of it before, so it's just something of a new way for me. I've got a very strong headwind, so I don't think the fuel economy will be quite as good as what it was going to Merredin, but hey, I'll do my best. So here we are driving into the tiny little town of Narambeen, and let's go and see if the Grains Museum is open. Look at that, 6.9, I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't think I'd get under 7 to be honest, but that's not bad. So the Grain Centres is a great little museum, and it's all about the farming history of the region. It's behind the cafe inside the service station there at Narambeen. So if you're stopping for fuel or going to the cafe for something to eat, just go and check it out. It's free to enter. There's the service station you can see there, but give them a few coins as a donation. There's a little donation box. Yep, definitely a top little place. Okay, the last little leg for the day. We're going back up to Bruce Rock, heading northwest. So 39 kilometres. It's a fairly short trip and it should only take about 24-25 minutes. Okay, so driving into Bruce Rock now, and yeah, I might get some petrol while I'm here too. I don't have to worry about that tomorrow morning. Okay, so I just topped up at Bruce Rock. It's the second time I've managed to get fuel for under $2 a litre, 14.97 litres. So yeah, around about $30, and I won't have to worry about filling up tomorrow. Alright, so here I am. I've arrived at the accommodation. It's called the Nut House, and you can go back and have a look at the review I did of this place. And yeah, so it's roughly 17-18 kilometres from Bruce Rock. And yeah, this is a nice little AirBNB I sometimes stay at. So silly me, I forgot to film last night, but we did an extra 58 kilometres to a total for the day 240 kilometres. And I do remember the fuel economy. It was actually finishing up at 6.8 litres per 100 kilometres, which was way better than I expected. Okay, it's day 3, my final day to Perth. I'm going via Beverley, and also the Brookton Highway, so a little bit longer, and I'm probably going to stop somewhere for lunch. So it is 270 kilometres, and I may do a tad more than that, and probably take me more time as well. We are ready to go, 47 k's on the battery, woohoo. So obviously my good driving yesterday worked really well. Anyway, we're ready to go. There's nothing on there. Why am I showing you that? Okay, so we're going to leave Bruce Rock and we're heading now to Perth for the final leg of our journey. So my final kilometres was 275.4, and yeah, I'm not forgetting to do this because I forgot to do it last night, as you saw. But anyway, 6.4 litres, I'm pretty happy with that, and 17.9 kilowatts per 100 when it was using the battery. So I think my advice is just use the battery when you're going at slower speeds, a sort of 70-80 max I would say, and then use the petrol motor. So save the battery when you're doing highway speeds, and you'll probably get a little bit more better, you know, you'll get better economy, I think. I'll give you all the stats for the whole trip coming up right now. Okay, thanks for sticking with us if you've made it this far. So day 1, 378 kilometers we did, and we got 7.3 litres. The second day we did 240 k's at 6.8 litres per 100, and that was when we did some charging in the middle of the day in Merredin. And then today, 275 kilometres and 6.4 litres. But of course we're driving into the city, and you know, when you drive in the city it's a bit stop-start, you get some more regeneration. Could be why I got a little bit better economy today. So I would say pretty good economy though for the whole trip. You know, considering I did close to 900 kilometers, that's not a bad effort. And you know, if you're a bit clever using the save button and using the battery at lower speeds, I think that will help your economy overall. So anyway, thanks very much for watching today and sticking with us for this, you know, rather long trip, and I hope you got something useful out of it. Take care out there. I've got a lot of content coming up soon, big surprises.